Welcome to our executive interview series at the UiPath Together Summit presented by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and joining us today is Bob Grabowski, Intelligent Automation Practice Leader at Deloitte. Bob, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'd like to start by asking, how do you see automation evolving from back office work to more mission-centric activities?
Yeah, I love this question, and I get it all the time because there is this idea that the back office is where automation is born and where it has the most impact. I always contend that the processes that we automate in the back office, they're no different than for the mission side. In addition, I like to debunk the myth that the back office is not supporting the mission. It's exactly what the back office does. It's mission support. So one of the things I like to tell my teams is focus on the impact that you're having, even if you're technically reporting through a CFO shop or a CIO or HR or IT, the work you're doing is supporting the mission. Now, how does this actually expand? Because the back office is truly where automation is thriving. How does this expand to the mission side? A lot of that is through focusing on the impact of the automations and talking through, how will the mission benefit from this? On the mission side, we're seeing a lot more, relationship to the constituents, to the public. So we have to be careful with automation. A mistake on the mission side is front page news. A mistake on a financial report being run, it's something that can be corrected. So as we think about this expansion into the mission side, we need to be thinking about the impact that it can have, focusing less on just building bots for the sake of building bots and focusing more on all of the new technologies that are coming, the impact that's going to hit the mission side, the stories that's going to happen when automation really starts to thrive on the mission side.
Great point. And then next, how does your organization decide on which processes or parts of processes to automate, or in your case, on behalf of your customers? And how do you see that evolving over the year or two ahead?
Yeah, it's a really tricky question because there's so many different ways to look at how you identify automations and what automations you actually build. And a lot of people use speed as a determination. How fast can we build bots? How many, can I get 10 bots in production? Can I get 100 bots in production? Build me a bot, build me a bot. At Deloitte, we really impose upon our clients to focus on a very purposeful way of evaluating processes for automation. So looking at automation feasibility, can this process actually be automated? And then the complexity of that automation. So how hard is it to automate that specific process? And those two things plotted on a graph will tell you, where you should be prioritizing your time. And it's all about driving the value. So you may see a bot that's very easy to automate, but it can drive a tremendous amount of value because there's a million transactions going in a month, and that automation is actually going to drive a lot of value. That might be one that you want to focus on building very early on. So we focus on a very set methodology and process to build those automation, that automation backlog and the prioritization. Now the key though is you can't take too much time to build that that backlog. A lot of times we see customers will get tired of waiting, and an automation that may take 2 or 3 days to build takes a month or two to get approved. So you do have to balance speed with automation feasibility. So we focus very much on being very thoughtful in our processes to identify automations, but also doing it in a way that produces those results and allows our customers to act quickly. Now, as we go forward and we think about what's going to happen, I immediately start thinking about the newer technologies that are being brought onto the scene. So RPA, we've got a set criteria, number of transactions, total number of systems that it interfaces with. As we start thinking about some of the AI technologies, generative AI is the buzzword these days. That criteria needs to change, and we really need to start shifting to the value side of this. So no longer are we going to be so concerned with, hey, I need a bot that can automate 1 million transactions. We're going to be thinking through, how can machine learning capabilities, AI, generative AI, how can that actually produce results that are going to change the way that we perform our work? It's going to give us insights over, terabytes of data that we could never do as a human. So as we think about going forward, we need to shift what we're looking at when it comes to prioritization of automations and really start focusing on, what are those newer AI technologies, how are they going to benefit our clients, and how are they going to benefit the processes that they're going to be used for?
Well, Bob Grabowski, thank you so much for taking time to join us, sharing your insights, and also articulating some of these templates and process ideas on how to move forward with automation. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.